right, before I start putting reactions out, I thought I would address what's coming. A pretty spicy morning. I even considered sending it all over to Patreon and doing a second take. But nah, I saw it in Ange's face. It's not as good an idea as I thought it was, because the raw, the raw edge to it, I guess, is what I do. All I really got going for me is calling it the way I see it the first time I see it. Unless we're ranting about some rabbit hole stuff, then that's different. But we had a couple reactions to stuff, and one was a current workforce member crying literally about working 8 hours. And I went pretty hard for 20 minutes. It probably upsets people, but we don't get out to too many people, so that's okay. It'll just happen. It'll be there. You can check it out if you'd like. Work ethic, Gen X versus current workforce. Reaction and rant. With me. There's Isyana Sarasvati. It's very nice. Short, frenemy. It got blocked. Let's see. Where did it get blocked? Only Walt. Yep, nope. Yeah, that one country can't watch nothing. But that's just how that goes. Harry Mack's uploading. That was great. And then the the winner of today's effort is I am done with Tom McDonald. Freedom ain't free. Rant with Rollen. If you're interested, it'll be the last time I'm gonna get Tom off my playlist. I'm done with him as an artist. I was. I feel that video speaks for itself, and F him. It might be one of the main reasons I get here, but I'm gonna side with Upchurch as the main reason we stuck around and persisted. And there's many others, and now there's new artists and people. We got a lot of love from artists, so it's been cool. And I've never been searching for acknowledgement from Tom McDonald. I was naive enough to think, like he says in his bars, mention my name and you'll get clicks. Well, not if the algorithm doesn't put it out there. It just don't happen. I guess if you're a begging grifter who says, don't say happy Memorial Day, but then instantly cuts to a pitch for a Memorial Day sale, I guess being that unaware is offensive to me. I'm done. I'm just done. They can take their call to, and here's the thing, the comments were really bothersome because nobody pointed out what an inappropriate moment for a pitch that was. I don't know if they're swayed by the donation idea, but the link took you right to merch. And I mean, I work at a bar and restaurant that held music and events. It's implied some capitalism is involved. Playing on my heart and my mind right before you try to sell me stuff. Well, there's names for all that. So I'm done with Tom McDonald. And, you know, I had to kind of put that out there first because I'll tomorrow's my first full day off. I'm actually got to go back to work pretty soon. And that's why I made the work ethic thing, because I'm like, well, you know, do they not? I mean, I understand being a student, then you should have only taken a part-time job. And then if you don't realize the workforce is completely disintegrated, you'd probably want to work someplace where you don't have to, get ground into the pavement, I mean, just used up. We choose to contract for labor. You'd probably have to contract for labor you can handle. because some people just have to keep showing up. And that used to be just normal. So I think what makes me sad is I can't get, yeah, fuck it. I get greedy sometimes. I wonder why we can't get a conversation started about the lackluster workforce and how, let's say, us 50 plus year olds are still busting our ass and probably pulling the weight of what the 18 to 22 year olds used to do. And that's just normal. Then I remember being a little shorty, and 55 was retirement, and I'm like, it was like over the hill, and people were done, and I'm like, wow, they're gonna bust my ass to pay for someone else till I'm 70, and I think that's it. You have to exploit the workforce that can still actually work, and then you let, unfortunately for the current workforce video, that person has a lot of their own issues, it appeared, and work is probably the last thing they should be worrying about. And it's a problem. I mean, if your main goal is trying to hide in normal society and pretend, it's just never going to fly. I see we're trying to regulate that into reality, but it's just never going to fly. I mentioned in that video, I'll mention one more time, I worked physical labor, direct mail for years, 2.5 years. Became a shipping clerk, forklift operator, and we had a young man showed up, and from a distance, definitely a young man. And then when it come time to actually work, the evidence became clear. Contracted as a man, but couldn't do the labor a man did. See, and then here's the thing, I'm not misgendering. Presented as a man. I treated him like a man. Except I explained men have to be able to do this level of labor. That's there's not really the 98-pound weakling man who applies to hump big mail bags and load pallets. There's a different job track. But the application was to present as a man. The applicant showed up to present as a man and blend in with working men. Failed after a day and a half. Second day, just left. Because was too physically demanding. Now, turn that coin over, and I wonder why there's so much controversy in sports with the other side of it. Because, like, I try to explain, and I don't think it's controversial anymore, then how come there's not a ton of female to male individuals presenting as male, going into like winning wrestling championships, boxing, football. Now, is there a ton of female to male transition people playing football, rugby, soccer? Why is it only the other side around? I wonder about that too. And that came up at the end of the work ethic video, because I realized by the end, I had given them a free pass. They presented as man. I treated them, I thought they were a man. Couldn't figure out why the man was crying so much. And I mean, I've cried on this channel. A song can get an emotional response out of me, and, tears are falling. At work, I could get stressed. I'd be like, oh, God, they're trying to kill me. Then it just goes, you pass that, and you just dig back in and go double time. So it all came out. Weird day, for real. The Harry Mac is still going through. I think other than that, I got a lot of respect from where I work the last 4 days without I think without my employment, they would have been in big trouble. With my employment, we weathered the storm and had some of the best days we've had since I work there. That's pretty cool because I started, they had a workforce, and that workforce fell apart by fall. And we've been struggling ever since. But the owners, they bust their ass. I hope I've been busting my ass. And was really successful. And appeared to be almost, I think I only made like 2 mistakes in 4 days. We're talking about, I mean, at one point I had 15 different tickets up at once. It was a legitimate hour wait for food. Um, it is what it is. Pot Panda 420. Now, if you didn't check that out, how many? 12 views. Here's the problem. Pot Panda 420 was really cool. Reached out and was like, hey, how you doing? Oh, he's gonna be on stage this Wednesday. In the comments. Just showed up in our comments. And I have nothing but respect. I don't want to heart that yet. I'd like to address it in the new reactions. Now, his genre music is a little off from what our channel enjoys. So it's going to be a complicated relationship with Pot Panda 420. Tennessee Reaper did a lot better because we kind of not there's no actual relationship. That is y'all. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting paid, y'all. That is the main takeaway for me, is the slight acknowledgement that we broke through far enough that the artists can see that I ain't, servicing them. I just don't want to ever do that. I got into this gig because I thought too many reactors were just servicing the musicians. It was all just a big reach around. It kind of bothered me that no one called shit out. Like Tom McDonald grifting in the middle of the Freedom Ain't Free song. If that was the end and he did that all just to sell merch, it's pretty sad. I'm just saying, it seems dirty and grifty. And at the end of the day, especially for the bus riders, you've been around long enough. Grifty is the last thing we're doing over here. But calling it out, that's in the fucking header of the channel. Yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And it's work hard in the real world, tell truth out here in the ether. Later.